Hello, and welcome to this edition of Eat Right with Rouses. We're so glad you're joining us. Your host here, Keith Whiteside, and always glad to have our favorite dietitian from Rouses, April Sins. Hey, April, how are you?
Hey Keith, doing great. How are you?
I'm doing very, very well, thank you. So it's always time for me to sit here and listen to you make me hungry with all these wonderful lunchtime recommendations. Tell us what you got
Yes.
today.
So we're going to be talking about today back to school lunchbox ideas. But I want that to also be translated into maybe it's us adults for work. Maybe it's something we need to pack with us to bring on a road trip, or maybe we're going somewhere and we just need that lunchbox idea. So how often do you start off the year with the lunch boxes and they're just like these gorgeous lunch boxes and they're so creative and you have all these things done? And then it's like you're in like week three and it's like, okay, well, what can we just throw together? So
Running
my
out of
goal is
ideas.
right. So my goal is to give you a few tips of things that you can keep on hand, maybe put into the grocery shopping rotation to just make that a little bit simpler, but also include some staples that you can use on the weekends or maybe it's at supper time, and not just rely on just the prepackaged little lunches made. So you can make some of those things at home, and then you can add what you want in it. So I have a few ideas for you. And so I'm going to basically go through a few food group ideas of things that you can get. And then I'll go through the plates and what I have on them as well.
Okay.
So let's talk about grains first.
All right.
So we can alternate things like a whole grain tortilla, maybe a whole grain bread, even a multi-grain chip, can be an option whenever you're thinking about what you can pack. So right here, I have some of those types of things right here. I have um, some little whole wheat tortillas, some Triscuits. So just some examples of some things to put into the rotation, which are actually things that I often keep in my pantry anyway.
Okay.
Another thing too is going to be a protein. So you're going to be combining a protein in there. So maybe some things like a cheese, could be an easy go-to. And that can be whatever is your favorite. It could be a shredded cheese. It could be a cheese stick. It could be a little laughing cow cheese or something like that. Any kind of cheese that's your go-to for your protein. It could be a lean meat. It could be a turkey, maybe a turkey pepperoni, chicken, or even a seed butter. So I know a lot of people are not able to bring a peanut butter type of item to school. So choosing maybe something made with sunflower seeds, like a sun butter. We actually have a new one called Cadia at Rouse's that you can find that is a peanut free option for those types of sandwiches. Another thing too to think about is vegetables and fruit. So vegetables and fruit provide us those nutrients that we need in the day, but they also have some fiber in it, help fill us up and just add that nice source of nutrition and round off that meal. So maybe thinking about whatever's your favorite, alternating some cucumbers, some carrots, maybe it's a bell pepper. Another thing you think about is a dressing, like a dip. Maybe it's a hummus dip, a ranch, or it could be a salsa. So those are some different types of things that you can kind of put into a rotation. And I'm going to show you what I have right here. And I'm using some of those items that we just talked about. Now, this is basically like a little nacho plate. So what I've put inside this plate is a whole grain chip. I have right here, I have some shredded mozzarella cheese. I have a little cup of salsa, and I have some red bell pepper right here. So just a really easy idea. And I also got this plate from Rouse's as well. So just a really nice, just kind of grab and go. You can put the lid on and just take that with you. And just a really simple way to do that. Another thing too, I'm gonna show you this plate as well, is this is sort of like a homemade type of lunchable type of thing. Okay, so except I put Triscuits in here, so I have my whole grains. I
Okay.
also have some turkey pepperoni right here, and then right here I have some just sliced up provolone cheese,
Mm.
and then right here I have a Rouse's fruit cup. So just a really easy way to round that off, and all I have to do is just throw the lid on there and take it with me. And then this is a little cute little box. So I kind of made some little sushi-ish type of rolls. So I took a whole grain tortilla and I wrapped some cucumber and carrot in it. And then look at the little cup on the side has ranch. And then I have just some chickpeas at the bottom, just some little great little snackers. And it's a source of fiber as well and protein. And then, of course, bananas make a great, easy grab and go option because you can just kind of throw those in the lunchbox. And then looking at what are you drinking with it. So milk is always a good option because of that protein and calcium in it.
Right.
And then you're also look for things like water, choosing less sodas and, even a coconut water if you want something that's flavored. But your water and your milk, those are some really good options too.
Well, and you made it really, really simple, and you can make your own lunchbox ideas. Like you said, you don't have to buy those ones that are prepackaged that have a lot of the things that kind of keep it together. You can make your own fresh ones and make it a whole lot easier.
Yeah, so you can kind of just put a little something extra into the rotation and just keeping a few of these items on hand, and you can basically make your own little grab and go. And you also could they also have the little Rouse's cheese snackers. Those are some great little things to grab and go as well that are prepackaged. But if you want to make it at home, you definitely can grab just a few items at Rouse's and be able to have some really fun options to
Everything
make those
available
lunch boxes.
there at
Yes.
your Rouse's Markets. April, we appreciate it so very much. Thanks.
Thank you so much for having me, Keith.
All right, and that will do it for this particular edition of Eat Right with Rouse's. Don't go anywhere. A lot more local programming here on HTV.